function, pumping and dumping, manipulate the market, flooded from the darknet, flooded from the deep web, keep it a secret. Every exchange got the nerdy brains trading on the frequent.
Hello, everyone out there. Just give us a moment here. Again, we're checking sound levels, and there's a little bit of a delay. So we're just checking in to see if you can hear my voice. Let me know in chat if you can hear my voice, because I can never tell when we start what's called chipmunking, or I start sounding like a high-pitched chipmunk, essentially. Awesome. So the audio works. Yay. One of these days, we'll get technically proficient enough where I won't have to ask that question anymore, as I just throwed you to death. Hi, everyone out there. Welcome to this broadcast, and there's the Incent rewards about to happen. By the way, we have these things called Incent rewards. We're not sponsored by them. There's just this really cool cryptocurrency project where basically throughout the episode, you're going to see a counter, and then you'll see either both a QR code and a diff code. A QR code or a passcode. And morning there, Dark Arts Lockpicking. Thank you for tuning in on the not lockpicking show. But when that happens, you're going to see this actually in 2, 1, pow. And you'll see there's a little code in there and a little QR code. And if you go to get.incent.com, basically you can scan that QR code, put in that, or type in that code that you see on the screen. You'll get a couple of pieces of cryptocurrency called Incent, and Incent is compatible with all these other cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, Monero, all of them. So you could trade those in for cryptocurrencies and thus also trade them in for money. So it's basically just a cool way for you folks at home to earn a bit of cryptocurrency and possibly some money while you watch me ramble on and fail at tech projects. Again, this is not a scam as far as we're aware. If it is, we're going to shut it off. And we're not sponsored by anyone, so we're definitely not sponsored by them. We just thought that'd be a cool thing to air. So anyhow, without going through that, welcome to our broadcast. This is the DCG 201 channel. I am Sidepocket. I'm one of the two co-founders of DCG 201, formerly known as DEF CON 201 or DC 201. We are one of many DEF CON groups all across America and around the world. For all you those of you who don't know, DEF CON is one of the, if not the major hacker convention in the United States, particularly take place in Las Vegas every year. And to keep kind of the spirit of the con going, there are different groups across the nation around the world that meet once or a couple of times a month in their area to do stuff. And as 201 says with the area code, our area is New Jersey, particularly Jersey City. And if you want to know more information about all the stuff that we do, because we have been going through crazy stuff, but we're now getting back to some semblance of normal. In chat, I posted our URL. You can also go to the URL you see on the screen, which is defcon201.org. We're also, as you can see at the bottom of the screen, all over all sorts of social media. Why is my mouth? I'm hydrating. I don't know why my mouth's going crazy. It's like I speak normal. I have a normal amount of saliva in my mouth. In my stream, either my mouth goes completely dry or my mouth salivates the entire time. I don't know what's going on. But anyhow, you can go to our website, defcon201.org, to see more of what we are and what we do. And if you also want to know more, we are all over the different type of social media, such as on Twitter at defcon21nj or on Instagram at defcon21, the hostducks.social incident of Mastodon. We also have our own .onion site. If you go to our website, we have a bunch of those links there. But if you want a kind of a master list of all the stuff you can catch up on, you can simply go to this link tree that I posted in chat. Dark Arts says, I thought I'd watch while making Oh, God. Well, not only have I not made my version of pancakes forever, which reminds me that we're eventually going to have to do an episode about pancake swapping. Maybe that'll happen in November. Maybe that'll happen in December. We don't know. But I just remember that I haven't had pancakes in a million years. So when I get paid very soon, I should totally check that out. It's pancakes. You see, you're making me hungry. Australians making me hungry. How dare you? So, what is this about? Well, in addition to our once-a-month meeting, in October, our meeting, I believe, is going to be on the 15th. It's going to be on the 15th of October, aka the third Friday of the month. We also have our own little live stream shows and specials. I have two consistent shows. One, which is where Dark Arts is annoying me, is about lockpicking and lock sport. which you will be able to see that on October 3rd, starting in October, next month. But my other show, which I do the second and fourth Saturday of every month, is called Crypto Barons, and that's what this show is. On this show, I wear the special blockchain, which is an actual center block on a chain that's provided by the other DCG 201 co-founder, G.I. Jack, who is located in some nebulous space around here. And I talk about cryptocurrencies and blockchains as actual technologies. Now, we do get occasionally into like some of the social aspects depending on what we're talking about. Sometimes we touch a bit on the finance so that you have a background about what we're talking about. But what we're focused on this show is, as opposed to all the snake oil stuff of should you invest? Is it hot? Why am I so bullish? To make fun of my absolute favorite show, Crypto Bureau. We want to know what's the technology supporting these decentralized apps and these blockchain-based programs. Do they have wallets we can run? Do they have test nets we can run? Are they should be open source. If they are, we look at their GitHub. Can we run stuff on them? What cool things can we do? Can we hack it? That's the type of stuff we explore on the show. And as I promised on the last episode, I've been doing too many episodes where we have sat back and we have watched a certain type of cryptocurrency. Last time we checked out, I keep wanting to say Audacity. It's been 2 weeks and I keep wanting to say it. Odyssey, I believe it's called. But we've been doing too many things where we're like, here's the platform, here's some of the tech behind it, blah, blah, blah. Quick look at the GitHub code. And all I've been asked about is like, hey, I remember that first episode where we coded a blockchain from scratch and you all laughed at me for how bad my coding ability is. And they're like, when are we going to get back to like doing code and running programs and stuff? Well, strange sounds from the co-founder. What we're gonna, I hope that didn't pick up on the mic. What we're going to do is we are, as I said in last episode, we are heading back to all of that. So a little bit preview of what's going to happen next month. Next month is going to be Halloween season. So I once again, just like last year for October, I set up 2 spooky episodes. Next month, we're going to be going back to crypto zombies, and we're going to be learning more advanced Solidity, and maybe even take a peek at that terrible Libra and how it's programmed by making little cool zombie games. And then we're going to do something absolutely terrifying, which if I do this completely wrong, I might actually brick the computer. Well, we're going to find out, where there is a very unscrupulous cryptocurrency project, or the blockchain-based project, that I have not been able to cross-reference. There's no cross. It's like an Ouroboros or like a Trumper where their head's up their own ass. All of their references point back to themselves. So I honestly don't know. It's probably might be a scam. It usually is a scam when it's like that, but it also just might be pure ransomware. So I'm going to show everyone on an episode next month of how, if you find an unscrupulous piece of software, how you can look at it and dissect it and explore it without it crapping on your own systems. But that's going to be next month. So what are we focusing on this month? And I also know some of the stuff in November, and it's going to kill me. What we're going to be doing today is something very fascinating, where we're going to be having, and I will go over this when we get to it, there's going to be a really special thing about a type of blockchain technology that's been all the rage on the news called NFTs, or non-fungible tokens. And thanks to our friends at the Jersey City Tech Meetup, they're going to have a special event about NFTs. And so I thought it'd be really cool as sort of a prelude to get into what we're going to be streaming at that event, this live event that's happening in front of a live audience. And you folks will be watching it virtually, but we're going to be interviewing the panelists and stuff that's at this gathering. Hey, Pony Lover. What I'm going to do is I thought we should look a bit more in NFTs. Now, I know back in March we covered NFTs, okay? We did a deep dive, and then Chelsea Manning, bless her heart, went on and talked about NFTs and did a way better job than I ever could, even though she did say, hey, I saw that episode, and that's what got me to look at some of the references, and that's how I figured out my episodes. At least we accomplished something. But I thought, hey, since we're going to be looking at NFTs next Wednesday, thanks to the Jersey City Tech Meetup, I was like, we should kind of go back to NFTs. And particularly on the episode, we talked a lot about what NFTs are. And we tried to basically run an NFT. And as the co-founder dies in the background, I found a really cool way of how we can, through the terminal, create and host our own NFTs that will hopefully not crash the computer. So that's what we're going to be doing, is we're going to be creating our own NFT and publishing it online. And we're going to see how that goes this episode. So Time for the face cam. Doo-doo-doo. So this is the landing page that I always do every episode. That is the DCG 201 website. It is awesome. Sarah still made it. As you could tell, this month, unfortunately, we didn't really have a meeting. That's my fault, and it's just there's been a lot of stuff that's been going on in my personal life as well as a lot of other members' personal lives here at DCG 201 that we really tried to do a meeting this month, and we were like, you know, we felt that not doing a meeting would be better than trying to do it super late with almost no heads up, as well as like just basically doing it half-assed. And we're from New Jersey. We need to show our full ass. There's nothing half-assed that we do in New Jersey. It's all full ass out the door. And if you're Chris Christie, you have multiple asses. That's the scary part. Is you have enough ass where you can become your own state. That's a whole topic for another time. So we decided instead to lick our wounds and do everything. Big return in person, hybrid meeting on October 15th. We already posted up a lot of the details about that. We are literally waiting for one specific thing before we have 100% of the details. Right now there's like 98% of the details, but it's going to be at Subculture, which is a local sandwich shop at 260, ironically enough, Newark Avenue. It's a couple of blocks away, like about 5 blocks away from, 4 or 5 blocks from the Grove Street Pass Station, which links directly up into New York City. So if you're from New York, you have no excuse to not visit. And yes, full ass is the best. This is not the show or the place to be talking about all of me and my opinions on full ass, but you can always DM me in person on Instagram for those questions. If you see my Instagram, you know my opinions on it. But anyway, but yeah, October 15th is going to be our meeting. It's going to be from 5 to 8 p.m. at Subculture, and parts of it will be streamed online. I will say, try to attend in person because we are right now been contacting people where every meeting is going to have one exclusive thing in person that's not going to be on the live stream. And you don't want to miss that. So we're not saying if you feel uncomfortable because of the pandemic going on, of course, we're going to take precautions. The venue does as well. We're going to be social distancing. We're going to be wearing masks indoors. You can take it off while you're eating, but you have to put it back on when you're doing everything else. Being as responsible for our bodies with security as we are with our computers and devices. If you don't want to come out, you can watch the live stream. You'll catch most of the meeting. But we are going to be, it's a hybrid, online and in person. Can't wait for that. Some of the stuff was rolled over with stuff we're supposed to do this month. I'm really excited. And you should be too. But that's neither here or there. Let's get back into what I was saying about NFT stuff. So, the question I think we should probably go over first, again, for all of you, because I have to explain everything like everyone's 5, because that's how I learned from it, is what is an NFT? Now, I had a conundrum here, because we've reached that point in most of our shows, especially with Crypto Barons, where we've had enough episodes where now all the episodes, whether I want to or not, feed in on each other. So, for example, we covered that one episode about Polygon and the Polygon network, as well as Polkadot. And multiple times since those episodes, we have found out that certain tech comes from Polkadot or Polygon. So seeing that episode kind of helps to understand some of the stuff we're doing now. And we covered NFTs back in March. So I don't want to go along. I don't want most of this episode to be about was an NFT, was a non-fungible token, and all of that. So the good news is that since that episode, I found a really awesome video that we're going to watch together. That's why I'm going to put the headphones on, even though I already know what it's going to say. That's going to describe what an NFT is in basically 4 minutes. So we're going to watch this together, and then we're going to go straight into how we're going to build and host this NFT, and then we're actually going to do it. So what is an NFT, mysterious video?
Meet Susan, an aspiring painter. She wishes to conduct an online painting exhibition for all her digital artworks. However, as the exhibition is online, she is worried that her paintings won't be secure, as anyone could easily forge or replicate them. Her friend Mark came to her rescue with an idea of NFT. He suggested that Susan could buy NFTs for all her paintings, as NFTs are trustworthy, easily transferable, and will also maintain her ownership rights on her artworks. Susan had no idea what NFTs were, so Mark stepped ahead and explained it to her. NFTs turn your digital assets into one of a kind by creating a unique digital signature, which defines the ownership of your assets, and that can be bought and sold for real money, cryptocurrency, or any other asset, like a non-fungible token, aka NFT. Non-fungible tokens means that they are not interchangeable, and each of them represents unique assets owned by a specific person. On the other hand, fungible tokens are interchangeable and can be divided into smaller units to form the same value. For example, a $100 bill is fungible, as you can exchange it with 5 $20 bills or 2 $50 bills. But the painting of the Last Supper is non-fungible, as it cannot be generated in bulk. Even if it is copied, it will not be authentic. Each NFT contains distinguishable information like who owns the digital asset and who sold it, making them distinct and easily verifiable. As it is impossible to forge such a certificate, it will secure her painting's originality. After learning what NFT is, Susan was curious to know how exactly NFT works. NFT basically creates a blockchain-based digital certificate for your digital collectibles, including games, music, art, and many more. This certificate gives your artwork a unique identity. The underlying technology and the programming language used by NFTs are the same as other cryptocurrencies, such as blockchain and the programming language Ethash or Script. NFT majorly exists on Ethereum blockchain, a distributed public ledger that records all the transactions. However, NFT is quite different from these cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin and Ethereum are fungible tokens, which means if you trade Bitcoin or Ethereum for one another, you will have the same value or item in return, basically money. On the other hand, NFT is a unique token. Therefore, if you try to trade it, you may end up with something completely different in your hands. CryptoPunks is a remarkable example of NFT. It enables you to buy, sell, and store 10,000 collectibles with the proof of ownership being stored on the Ethereum blockchain. After exploring how NFTs work, Susan was convinced and bought NFTs for all her paintings. Due to this, her artworks were secured from any kind of forgery and also gave her artworks a particular value. This contributed to increased sales too, as everyone was easily able to buy the artwork without any fear. All in all, her exhibition was a complete success. Similarly, NFT has proved itself to be a boon in the lives of many others, like Jack Dorsey, the CEO and co-founder of Twitter with his very first and famous tweet, "Just setting up my Twitter," and Vignesh Sundarasan, famously known as Metakovan, who bought $69.3 million worth of NFT art on Beeple. Owing to its increasing popularity, people are now willing to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for NFTs. NFT has enhanced media exposure and special perks for aspiring artists like Susan on social media. This popularity of NFT creates new opportunities for new art platforms, motivating people to buy art from internet platforms and promoting copyright or originality of digital assets. So, here is a question for you. What makes any item non-fungible? A. Exchangeability. B. Unique digital signature. C. Tradability. D. Distributed public ledger. Please give it a thought and drop your answers in the comments section below. 3 lucky winners will receive Amazon gift vouchers. Many experts in the crypto industry say that around 40% of new crypto users will use NFTs as their entry point. As a result of its growing popularity, NFT could represent a more significant part of the digital economy in the future. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, a thumbs up would be really appreciated.
So yeah, that's from the video that I ripped. We're not doing any rewards, and the answer anyhow is the unlisted J, all of the above, and the F and U. But yeah, that's just really quick what NFTs are. I'm just going to go over a little bits on, if we bring the browser back up, of some of the things that they didn't say during that. So you have to, so again, that was just what NFTs are. I just want to quickly go over about like kind of what NFTs are built on and stuff like that, so you get a background. First thing you should know, because again, we're a DEF CON group, so we usually more lead towards security stuff, not necessarily InfoSec or info security, but just security stuff in general. It doesn't matter if we're exercising, taking pills for a cold, riding around on an electric skateboard. Anything basically can be a subject of hacking, and thus also a subject topic of privacy and security. So we cover those. One of the things that I really hate, and there's a lot of this in cryptocurrency and blockchain tech, but it's not unique to it. And that is when organizations say that it is something proof or non-hackable. What I will say to correct them is that most of these sort of smart contracts and non-fungible tokens are annoying to hack, which means most hackers will not try to bother to hack your smart contract that says who owns the NFT or the NFT data itself in order to manipulate it and to mess with you. That doesn't mean that doesn't exist. In fact, back in I think like November, December of last year, and throughout the past couple episodes, we have been looking at, and yep, if it runs code, it can be hacked. If it's any sort of mechanical device, it can be hacked. I mean, one of the biggest hacks that happened since last year was a SARS-based coronavirus mutating so that it could bypass most of our immune system, and then the really sad social response to it, and thus we basically developed a human version of Stuxnet. Uh, Stuxnet called COVID-19. That's a hack. That's one of the biggest, most devastating hacks we've had in recent memory, which is why I compare it to Stuxnet. So if it's a mechanical device, if it's a system with rules, it can be hacked. It's just, now if it's politics, social stuff, computers, voting machines, most things are IoT things anyhow, so I can list like can openers and stuff. They can be hacked. So I want to put in there that smart contracts are difficult to hack for most people, and non-fungible tokens are very new, so it's confusing for most hackers. NFTs have been hacked. Smart contracts hacks keep getting bigger and more bolder as time goes on, with some really successful attempts, as we covered in our scams and hack episode that I'm definitely going to eventually do a sequel on, maybe early next year. So I just wanted to put all of that out there. So, yep, you're correctly right, Pony Lover. And thank you for trying to reach out for this. Well, I'm going to actually advertise something right when we describe the rest of like what actually builds an NFT. Of something, I'm going to describe it right after I say that, and then I'm going to bring it up at the end of the episode. Where if they miss this, you should definitely send them these links to these things I'm going to bring up, especially if they're from New Jersey. But let's go through here. So, as I say in my notes, what are the NFTs made of? So again, now that we know what an NFT is, where it's non-fungible, you can't split apart into pieces, has a unique identifier system off of the blockchain, stuff like that. What are they made of? So again, each token has a unique ID that distinguishes from other tokens. This is where it starts getting into like sort of like an odd territory because because technically most the blocks on the blockchains also have unique ID numbers, as we saw in the first episode. That is they not only carry their own hash value, but they also usually carry the hash value of the previous block they're on, except for the Genesis block, which is the first one. That's why it's called a blockchain and not a block assembly, or block concert, which I actually think kind of sounds cooler. Block concert. So that's where something or non-fungible tokens or NFTs do relate to the blocks on the chain, not necessarily the cryptocurrency itself, because the cryptocurrency itself, if it has one, is easily fungible and can be broken down. But the blocks themselves that are generated that make those tokens are unique. But the idea that they have unique ID distinguishes it from, again, like I said, tokens like Ether because of that. So because each NFT is unique, they're owned and traded individually. And then the smart contract is basically the spine or the glue that holds it together to let people know who made what and who owns what. Another thing about NFTs is their ability to link to data that's stored outside the smart contract. So that process is what's known as we calling off-chain, off the chain, like we used to say in the 90s, but it actually means something. So data on the blockchain or on-chain needs to be processed, verified, and replicated across the entire blockchain network that it's on. This wastes time and it wastes resources, whether it's computing resources or cryptography resources in order to do so, which if you're doing other transactions, especially if you have NFTs and coins on the same chain, this will slow it down even beyond Bitcoin standards. So the issue is with that NFTs have been solving recently that other coins such as Monero and Polkadot and stuff have adopted with different techniques is how do you basically have an NFT, the very unique identifier that's basically its own unique token. It's like when the mint mints like one unique coin that goes for $1 billion or goes in a collection. And how do you do that? without taxing the storing system and processing system that would cost a lot of money, time, and resources in order to process. And that's where we're going to come up with the techniques here that we're going to use. But before I get in those techniques, I want to remind everyone real quick that if you do like the content that you see so far, you can hit like, share, subscribe, or follow us on Twitch, DLive, or YouTube. We're going to get the other streaming stuff back by October 1st. So all the October episodes you also see on, Facebook and PeerTube. You can also watch us through YouTube via the Tor network through this amazing mirror program called NVIDIA. Again, that's all in our, actually, I'll post that again for everyone. That is in our social media link tree, which I will add now as I sound like a robot in the chat right here. So in the chat, it's going to pop up. But if you do that, it's completely free. I get notifications for those and I cheer everyone on. And what's really key is, so very recently, unfortunately I forgot the username again who did this. I'm going to have to write this down at some point. But we finally reached our goal on DLive where we passed 100 followers. In fact, we have a decent amount of followers for this. That's not the link that I shared yet. You can share that, please do, but there's going to be something I'm going to bring up right after this. And that's great, because we can now potentially upgrade our DLive completely for free and do a lot more with it, not just for crypto barons, which we focus a lot on DLive because DLive is a streaming blockchain technology, very similar to Twitch, but it's all blockchain and cryptocurrencies. But we could just do a lot more with account in general for our meetings, for Master of Unlocking, Arch Analytics perspective, all of that. We have one more snag, ironically enough, which is that we need, the only thing that's preventing us from being a cryptocurrency superstar, as they call in DLive, is we need to have an existing video platform with 1,000 or more followers. And we are only 10 followers away on Twitch for having over 1,000 followers. So hopefully sometime this month, maybe even in this episode, if we can get 10 people to follow us on Twitch and stay that way for roughly a month, we will be able to upgrade our DLive. And we'll do special stuff for our Twitch on the following episodes whenever that happens, if we reach that. Perhaps before the meeting, we'll do special stuff during the meeting on the 15th. So I'm just letting you know, if you do like our stuff, please subscribe. It's completely for free. I can cheer you on. You get notifications from when we go on live stream if you can't remember all the schedules. And finally, as you've seen, I love chat. Pony Lover has been talking in chat. I almost said Dark Sim. Oh, God. He's going to punch me for this. Dark Arts is currently making breakfast, so he's probably not talking in chat because his hands are probably covered in batter of all different types because it's Australia. But now he's going to type and be angry at me. But no, I love talking with chat. If you're here to just learn this stuff, and we're going to be learning a bunch today. I'm probably going to be learning as I do this. I also love lurkers, so as I say, keep lurking and keep learning. And so speaking of the blockchain, I'm going to bring this up at the end of the episode, but one of the reasons why we're learning, we're going over NFTs now and actually building it is because our friends at the Jersey City Tech Meetup are doing this awesome event in Jersey City in person, starting from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at Endico. That's at 201, ironically enough, Montgomery Street. We might have to ask that venue if they'd like to host a DEF CON or DCG 201 something, because they are at 201 Montgomery Street. I didn't even know that building had been empty for a while, so I actually didn't know there's something there now. So that's something we're gonna have to look into. We'll still meet at the Subculture and get sandwiches from there, but that would be kind of neat. Tweeting this episode for the people sub. Can never be angry. You just well, if we're in New Jersey, you have to be disappointed with us. It's gonna cost a little bit. It's $40 to $55 fiat money to attend, or they're actually selling slivers of ether that you can buy instead, because they're making NFTs of their logo. If you buy an NFT of their logo, which is apparently way less than $40, that automatically counts as a ticket. You show that NFT at the door, and they show up on the chain that you own it, and you enter that for less than $40. So there's two ways you can do it. But they're holding an event September 29th, that's next Wednesday, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., called NFTs Beyond Art, building a community on the blockchain. I'm going to quickly read what it's about. Amid the crypto gold rush, NFTs are proving to be more than just flash in the pan. Find out how artists, creators, and entrepreneurs and enterprise organizations are leveraging the potential of Web 3.0 to see explosive growth in business and community. So NJ Tech Meetup, they're kind of like us, but in the opposite way. We're very down to earth. We go through code and tech. Sometimes they cover a bit of the tech, but they more focus on like the business side and applications and stuff. We very much complement each other really well, which is why we're friendly to each other. And the speaker lineup for that is they're going to have even McMullen, who's the co-founder of CoinSys. They're going to have coin artist. I keep reading that as con artist. Marguerite Del Concert, who is the CEO of Blockade Games, which is funny because in a future episode we're actually going to be covering blockchain and cryptocurrency games, and so I actually have already known about blockchain that company that he works at. It's just called Blockade Games. They actually make a really cool. They basically have a game that's like Cyberpunk 2077, but it actually works, believe it or not, with no glitches. And it uses cryptocurrency NFT stuff in order to do your inventory for your character and your stats. So I can't wait to talk with them in person because that's going to be a future episode of coin artists or also con artists. Most of them are. There is legit stuff for cryptocurrency and blockchain, but we've covered scams in the past and we've investigated and point out when things are scams, when things are not, what to look for, things like that. But Blockade Games is awesome. They're legit. Can't wait to see them in person. Adam Stenbrock, who's apparently an attorney for NFT stuff, is going to be there. And Trigarna Games, Jonathan Goodman, not to be confused with John Goodman, is going to be there. And I'm going to post the link in chat. If you are interested in attending in person, here's the link in chat. It's an Eventbrite page. I believe you can also go to, I think it's jctechmeet.com or .org or something like that, but you can go and check that out yourself. Now, what if this, I know it's like being broke, and this is too expensive, and you potentially can't attend, and I'm looking for where I thought I had a drink somewhere here, like a soda, but apparently I don't. So I'm going to have to probably run over and get some more liquid in a moment. But what if you can't make this? What if you're, too afraid to come out because, Delta and other variants are still around, so I don't blame you. What if you're in another part of New Jersey and everything's been flooded? What if you're from another state? What if you're from another country? Well, you won't be able to see the main roundtable they're going to have of all these speakers. But thanks to our friends at JC Tech Meetup or Jersey City Tech Meetup, starting at 7:30 up until they close at 9, we're going to be having a special episode of Crypto Barons on Wednesday, September 29th. The time here is off because it's at UTC time. It's going to be from 7:30 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for us. You can tune in on Twitch, DLive, and YouTube. And we're going to be interviewing those panelists after they're done with the panel. And we're going to be talking about tech and business strategy and stuff like that. Take the bus, DC214. Oh, God, I wish I could do that. DC214, I still wonder how that DEF CON 29 meeting went. But yeah, we are going to be, so next Wednesday, you're going to have a double dose of Crypto Barons as I post the link in chat of our meetup page. We're going to be doing, as our Instant Reward comes up, a live stream. So if you can't make it in person, if you make it in person, you can say hi to me. I'll elbow bump with you because it's social distancing and stuff. But we're going to be having a special episode thanks to the Jersey City Tech Meetup. We're going to be interviewing those people right here on this show. So I'm really excited about that. So I'm going to bring that back up at the end, as well as I believe around between 9:30 and 10 p.m., probably at 10 p.m. tonight Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to be doing the treasure rewards if you're on DLive. And when we end this episode, we're going to raid. So I'll bring that up, all this stuff up right before we do that with the links again. But those links that you were saying, Pony Lover, you want to share some links? Share them the link to the Eventbrite and then share the link to the meetup. They should totally go to this in person in Jersey City. If they can't, let them know that I'm going to be live streaming it. That's the one they're not going to want to miss. So, but stick around. We're now going to get into how we're going to build this. So, as we said, back on topic, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making an NFT, and hopefully it will work. I know they're lazy. We're in New Jersey. We're lazy. I can barely get this show running. Just send them the links. That way they don't. The key is not if they do anything. The key is that you send them the links so that when they complain about why they missed this, you can tell them they're bullshit because they got the links, they didn't do anything. So this is more of an insurance on your end. But anyhow, what we're going to be doing now that we kind of got a quick overview on non-fungible tokens or NFTs, what they are and what's the requirement for building them, we are going to now build them using a bunch of different things. So the main thing we're going to be using, and this was changed since March, that's made this supposedly really easy, is Yusef Napora, and I'm going to share this in chat. And if you're on Twitch, if you scroll down, we actually have a little widget that has our GitHub links. And so we actually have a fork of this on there. You can click on that. It will open a new tab, and you'll be able to see the stuff that I do. For all the people out there on YouTube and DLive, I just posted the exact link to his GitHub in the chat for you all to check out. But they created a new sort of platform that's called Minty. It's mostly, just like with most cryptocurrency stuff, it's mostly a JavaScript. JavaScript. I learned that when I was in elementary and middle school. Okay, that's how JavaScript will haunt me forever, just like it'll haunt most legacy applications and websites forever. A little bit of Solidity, that's the smart contract part, and some shellcode to tie it all together. And they created this thing called Minty. And it's a way where you can show locally, not as like an enterprise, like locally, how you mint a non-fungible token and then storing the data onto a network in a pinning service. So the core is going to be Minty, which is going to be built on JavaScript and Solidity. We're going to look at parts of the code in a minute, and then we're going to try to run this thing. Actually, we're going to first copy it, install it, and then run it, which, by the way, before I forget, before we go into explaining this other stuff, I'm going to rectify a mistake that I usually do on this show. Now, I've made the mistake of being like, no, I haven't installed this thing yet, and blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to do that now, and then it takes forever. I should have been actually doing this a while ago, and I have to like apologize, put on music and dance stuff as our co-founder makes odd sounds that sounds like he is mutating from the waist down. I really hope that's not picked up on the mic. And where was I going with this? And then I like have nothing to do because everything is still installing. So I'm going to explain the other two elements we're going to use for Minty, but let's get some stuff out of the way and actually start to install stuff with Minty. So I'm going to bring up the terminal here. There we go. We are going to first try this with our Ubuntu instance. If that doesn't work, I always find if I have both Ubuntu and Kali on here, and even though there's some, but if I remember correctly, they're both, okay, I think Kali is based off of Debian more than it is Ubuntu, although to be honest, I'm going to say what's really the difference at this point, and I'm going to have a bunch of angry people in the comment section, which if you want to argue about the differences between Ubuntu and Debian, you can argue in the comments and YouTube below when this whole thing ends or in chat. But every time on this program or in other things when we F it and do it live, I run it on either our Ubuntu subsystem or Kali subsystem, and when for some reason, if it doesn't run on Ubuntu, it will run on Kali and vice versa. So yeah, we don't care as long as it works. So this is our Ubuntu subsystem here. And so I know for a fact that the first thing that I'm going to do here is I am going to, let's bring this up so I can type it, is we are going to clone this over and put it in its own folder. So we're going to do the classic git clone, and then I'm going to copy pasta the URL for the git in here. And actually, let me just double check something in the browser just to make sure I have. Okay. So I copied that over in the browser. We're going to go back to the Ubuntu subsystem here. And so we're going to copy pasta that. Okay. So we're going to copy pasta that in. And then I'm going to do a semicolon, which is the bane of all terminal and programming existences. So cross your fingers on this, because basically I'm going to do a parallel process, and we're going to then go into the Minty folder that we're in. This should hopefully take a couple of seconds because, you know, it's funny because before Git happened and when it began, it was a little rough and everything, as you can see. So now we're in the Minty folder. It's Minty Fresh, as the episode calls it. But now it's up to a stage, especially with pipeline stuff, that I can do this while running 18 million programs in the background at the same time. The hard part is going to be what we're going to do next, and then I'll explain what we're going to need in addition to Minty to do all the stuff that we're going to do. So now what we're going to do is we're going to run two parallel processes at once and drive us completely insane. And the reason why it's going to drive us insane is because we're going to be using a type of package install system called npm, which is the bane of everyone's existence. In fact, as I type in the npm install, I'm going to tell you a story that one time I had to actually, and here comes that semicolon again, and we're going to now link it so that way we've added our command to the path here. So I actually had a thing where I had to reinstall a operating system. I believe it was an Arch Linux operating system from scratch that I was working on, because there was this catastrophic failure where npm npm wouldn't run because it doesn't have the latest version. And when I would try to run the latest version of npm, there was an error in which I had to reinstall it from a previous version. And then when I installed that, it said it wouldn't run because it needs the current version. And it was like a cat with a piece of toast with butter on one side duct taped on, and it just went into an infinite loop that the computer could not figure out, and thus nothing would update. So I had to do all of that. So anytime I do npm anything, now these take a while and a couple of resources, I sort of get terrified, and we have a semicolon. So we're going to run this, and then while this installs and we link it to our path, yeah, because of the JSON, the package JSON with it. So it's going to try its best. As that goes, I'm actually going to take this the terminal off, and we're going to talk about what other two things we're going to need in order to do this NFT demonstration. And then we'll go back and we'll look a bit at Minty codes. The other two things is we're going to do IPFS. I'm not going to go into complete detail on what exactly. Did I take it off? Yes, I did. I'm not going to go exactly into what IPFS is because we actually did a deep dive episode about it and got it mostly working back in November when we were talking about Mazacoin and how, as we warned back then, a lot of cryptocurrencies were just adopting IPFS, even though Mazacoin's been doing IPFS for like 2 years now. And that's why now we have these sort of things where now NFTs go through IPFS. Basically, IPFS has really become that cornerstone of a lot of blockchain technologies, not even cryptocurrencies, blockchain technology. Either I did something wrong or someone's wrong on the internet, because I hear Jack typing like he's writing an entire Golang program from scratch. So I'm curious now. But so what we're going to do is we're going to do this entire process in Minty through IPFS. IPFS is how we're going to put the thing online. So IPFS is, just as a quick recap, I should have got the video for IPFS again. I might actually have it somewhere, but it is a peer-to-peer system. It stands for Interplanetary File System. It was originally conceptualized for the idea of if we have different internet nodes on the moon and then on the Mars, it won't be an internet anymore, it'd be an outer net. How would we communicate between long distances such as planets? And by solving that problem, we solved a lot of micro and medium macro problems here on Earth with peer-to-peer file distribution in terms of sizes, accountability, etc. And IPFS is probably one of, if not the most popular system for this. It's a decentralized peer-to-peer network. And again, after this episode, you could go back to last November where we did a deep dive on this and we went into terminal, install it, and ran it and everything. And by the way, I did get the Mazacoin wallet running. There was an odd error that I had to correct in it, and then I actually have the wallet running. I could probably bring that up at the end and show the Mazacoin wallet running. So we did actually successfully retrieve it to IPFS. I'm a little nervous because when we did that episode, our internet nothing happened with our new IPFS. Everything ran smoothly, but you know, our internet system's a gamble. So I hope that when we actually run the IPFS part, that everything will go nice and like the stream won't crash. The other thing we're going to be using is that once we put it on the internet, as long as IPFS running, everyone can see and download and stuff the NFT. But what's going to happen when we turn the IPFS off? Well, that was the only node running, so it's going to disappear. So in addition to IPFS, we're going to need something to anchor it so that everyone can see. And that's what we're going to go into with a cloud hosting service. And the most interesting one that I'm going to use here is Pinata, which is a cloud hosting service completely for free. You actually get like a gigabyte for free, considering we're only going to be using a couple of kilobytes to a megabyte at most. This is going to be fantastic, and it's specifically designed to host NFT media. So I'm actually going to take this out of preview mode just for ease of use. This is going to be really, really interesting. So I'm going to now double check to see. Okay, here we go. Oh boy. There was an error in the Ubuntu. And if none of this works, I'll just walk through the process of it, by the way, because I haven't done anything yet. So I'm going to show you what the terminal looks like now. You ready for this? I was kind of expecting this. I usually get more errors with Ubuntu trying to run npm than anything else. So it tried. It skipped 2 optional dependencies that I believe are probably more required than it was. And there are a crap ton of vulnerabilities. So I'm going to follow their advice and do an audit fix. And now we're going to see if anything happens. If not, I will switch this over to Kali, and then we're going to see if it works. So right now it's just being confused right now. See, this is what I love about the show is that basically Crypto Barons is the show where we constantly test the patience of the demo gods, in which they have no absolute patience whatsoever. And I did debate. I was originally going to do all of this before we did everything. I actually wonder if maybe the core problem here, and let me actually go, while this is loading, I'm actually going to go back in the browser, and I'm going to check something, so I can take the browser off. Even though I did overall updates, I actually wonder if I have to specifically update NPM itself in the subsystem. So I'm actually going to check that right now, because to be honest, like I kind of remember the command for it, but I'm just double checking to make sure I remember how you actually type the goddamn thing. Huh. So we're going to find out here. So let's see. So it fixed all of those. Okay. I'm going to just try, just as a test, to run it again. And we're going to see what happens again. This is like the exciting, not exciting part. If we get the same errors again, I'm going to see if I have to update NPM separately on here, just to see what happens. And then if nothing works, I'm going to switch over to Kali, because like 80% of the time, if it doesn't happen on one, it happens on the other. Because I already did before. The one thing I absolutely made sure to do before this episode is I did a update upgrade for both subsystems ahead of time. But as I've been finding out over the years, just because you do a general update, it's supposed to cover everything. That doesn't mean, yep, we got the same errors again. It doesn't mean that that is how it's going to work. So what I'm going to do is we're going to now try to update this and see if any errors form. And then if that doesn't work, we're going to switch over to Kali, because this is the fun part. This should do it. So we're going to try to update it individually. Okay, so that ran. And now I'm going to run it again. And we'll see what happens. And if we get those same errors again, we're going to go over to Kali. So again, this is the fun part. So just as a recap, what we're going to be trying to do this episode is we are going to... Yes, it's not really... Most of hacking is banging your head against the wall, and then either something works or you more likely learn how not to do something. We got the same errors. Let me see if the audit fix stuff actually works now. So we'll see if this fixes anything. If not, I will simply... I already have Kali running. And in fact, what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to do the same npm command to Kali, just to make sure everything is good on that end as well. Ooh, this is interesting. Well, getting some interesting results on the Kali part. This is hilarious. Jesus, why is it... Oh my god. Huh. Alright. This is fun. See, because this is why I did this from scratch, because this might be most of the episode. This is going to be hilarious. Alright, so what I'm going to do... See, the part that confuses me here is that... And we're going to test this. Is that I have no idea why I'm getting a number so old. So what we're going to do this time, and I know this is like baby's first computer, but this is why I did this from scratch, to show you that I don't want to do what they do with like lockpicking stuff and be like, oh, like, you know, the cooking shows where they start putting ingredients and mix it and then they switch over to another bowl where I didn't want to do that. I want to show you guys me trying to do all of this. So here we go. So I'm going to just go like I'm doing this from scratch. Because at worst, it'll either give me an error, or at best, it will just simply update it. And I'm also very much aware, because worst comes to worst, I know that I'm on a subsystem, so there might be some odd things going on with that. And I might actually have to spin up a VM and run it in a VM, because there also might just be a subsystem problem, especially because I did not design our streaming computer, so there might be odd, unintentional walls that this is not used to. So according to this, it says it's updated to its latest version. So just to make sure, because self-torture makes you smart, I am just going to simply run it again and see what happens. If we get the same errors, we're probably going to get the same errors. Although I just realized there was a step that I missed, I think. But we'll see what happens first. It's actually, I think, unless something updated, I think it's 10 more subs. But any amount of subs will do well for this hacker DOM. And right now, I feel like a sub. So here we go. npm install. Let's see if this was missing. Because in my brain, there should be no way in hell it was, because that's the thing, the version, it's not, JSON was generated. See, this is what I'm thinking, because a lot of times when I do this, I don't get the same problem with Kali. Oh man, really? Ah, see, so what I think is, my theory of what is happening here is, and this is why I wish Siricel was here, because it's probably because of the way the subsystem is set up, because I didn't set this one up. Not that he did something wrong, it's just, you end up setting up the computer to do one thing, and then you try to make it do another thing, thinking it's just like a normal machine, and that's not the way it's set up. Is that I've had instances, particularly with Ubuntu in general, where if you go for the official Ubuntu repository, it has a way older version than the version that it has. Because what I think is happening here, is that the subsystem, for whatever reason, has a way older version than whatever the hell we're supposed to be running from. Which is why I said the worst absolute comes to worst, what I might do is spin up a VM, which was a complete operating system that should have everything on here. So I just want to check and see if I can try potentially one more thing. All right, so let me actually test something real quick here. I just want to double check something. Okay. Probably should have did all this first. I'm kind of doing everything in reverse order. Let's see what version we're on. Okay. Unless I haven't updated anything, that's like a slightly older version. Let's see. So my whole thing is that, okay, I'm just gonna do this like really. I know this is what we didn't want to see in this episode, but I think it's really important to see dumb stuff like this. So, and by the way, the reason why I haven't cleared everything is because he'll do a weird thing with the display on here. So that's why we're just going through everything down. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to CD back out of this, and then I'm just going to update everything real quick. Because it should be in there. Unless it's literally pointing to an old thing, because the subsystem might be behind like normal Ubuntu, which will drive me goddamn crazy. But we're going to find out. I'm just going to do everything by the book, okay? Because I did the update before, so there's not that many updates. So I'm going to try this version of this command. Pretty sure Jack's falling asleep right now, because again, this is like baby's first computer. But we have to go through all of these things because it's this freaking subsystem. So it says that's the newest one. And the thing is, what I'm doing here is the latest version of how to do it. Like, it works on, I've tried it on my Ubuntu machine. Personally, it works. That's why I said, worst comes to worst, we could do a VM. So, all right, so let me think. What I might do, I want to see how annoying I want to do this. All right. Let's cross your fingers with this one. I'm going to try an experiment on here, and then I might give up and just go to Kali. So even though Kali threw up its own very interesting error. So I'm just going to copy pasta this URL that I have in like my little folder here. And we're gonna curl this guy over to our subsystem if possible, because basically I'm gonna go outside of the repository to do this. Let's see. So there we go. And I'm gonna throw up a wall, and hopefully, cross your fingers that this actually works. We're pulling this directly from its repo itself, from the node source repo. And then after we do everything, we will update this, and then we will run the same commands again. Oh, this is fascinating. Huh. That's a step that I normally haven't done before. Oh, well. To me, if the program tells me it, I should probably actually do it. So let's see. Build. Oh, add-ons. Okay. So I'm not going to do that for that. So yeah, what we're going to do is now we're going to actually install the thing. So now it's going to install this directly from the repository that we pulled from node source. And then hopefully that should bring us the latest version. Everything runs. If not, I'm just going to be like, screw Ubuntu, and we're going to go over to Kali. Hello. So we don't have a giant bumblebee infestation. That is, well, kind of. That was actually our co-founder running by me right now. And we're at 69%. Nice. Right when you ran by, we're at 69. Good work. So, okay, so that's done. So now we're going to test to see what version it is, and then we will update and upgrade. Okay, do the thing I did originally before the episode. And hopefully everything will work now. So let's see. So we're going to see what version of the node we have. Okay, that is definitely way higher than we've had before. That's also what she said, because it's New Jersey and weed is legal. That is way higher before. All right. So let's see. I don't think we need to build add-ons. If there's another error that I don't know, I'll do the way you would normally add other dependencies in order to do add-ons, but I don't think we need it for that. So let's just clean up in-house here and do ATPAPPY. By the way, for those of you who don't know terminal commands, the -y means say yes to everything. So if you're going to do a command where it's going to be prompting you yes or no questions, and you have to keep pressing Y or N or Y or N. If you do -y, it will say yes to everything. There might be a -n, but I've never looked that up. So we're gonna do update. Let's try this. This might not work because I might be an idiot. I mean, it might be. I've been proven to be an idiot, but. So first we are updating everything again, just to make sure, because you always do this anytime you do anything new. Okay, I probably typed in something stupid, so instead we're just gonna do this the safe way. We're just gonna double and this, which allows you to do multiple commands in the same line ungracefully. And the way I always go through this is that you should always, on a Linux system, you should update to get all the repositories down, and then all the stuff that it's download and double check, you then upgrade it so that all your programs are at the same level. And then for all the stuff that you don't need, you auto remove. And that should be like a, no matter what your skill level, that should be a regular habit, because you will be surprised of how many people that I know who are high up in securities at their jobs or in other organizations who forget to update their repositories, upgrade their programs, and they get pwned by a CVE from like what we saw with the Node.js is something that was out of date by even years. Like you think it's automatically updating in the background and stuff, but it's not. And that's always a scary thing. So to me, that should always be a habit. Okay, so I didn't see this happen, so I'm just going to double check for the auto remove. think there's probably nothing to auto remove, but I'm still going to check. Okay, great. So now we're going to CD into Minty. And we're going to go back to our previous commands. If it doesn't work, then we're going to try all this with Kali, because for some reason Kali always seems to be more forgiving for some reason. So let's actually go back to this page. Just double check something here. Yeah, that's what I mean. And the thing about that is I already did update and upgrade, but that was the repositories that Ubuntu had by default in the subsystem version I'm using. Since we pulled from another completely different source, upgrading that, as you saw, all the libraries and the stuff that's in Node, that was probably all of that to make sure everything was at its correct version. So hopefully, if we've done everything right, this should now work. It's amazing how much time this ate up. I feel like we've already been on here for like 5 hours or whatever, but let's all go do this now. So we're now going to, I'm actually going to play this really safe again, and I'm going to just install the thing. So I should just do, or I shouldn't need this, but I'll try this as an experiment if this doesn't work. Let's find out. Let's see if we get those same errors. It's npm, so I wouldn't be surprised if it still doesn't work. So from what, as far as I understand, I should double check afterwards. I completely forgot. Uh-oh, let's see. Ah, it's having the same problem. That is really strange. Let's see how much audit changes this time. Oh, sorry. Forgot. Just glad I know that we're doing this in npm, otherwise I won't know what I'm talking about. See, the thing about computers is that computers don't really do anything on their own yet, even with the advanced AIs that we have. So either you told the computer a command and it did something stupid, or someone else told it a command and it did something stupid. So basically, it's either Minty's problem or my problem. We're about to find out. So it's having the same amount of vulnerabilities. All right, let me just double check what versions we have here. So we have the newer version, so this actually might be either a Minty thing or the subsystem itself. All right. This is fascinating. Want to try one last thing here before we move on to the other world. Because I wouldn't be surprised if this is it this entire time. Just gonna try it. Doesn't hurt to try it. Worse, the terminal throws you back errors. It's not like the old days where if you type something wrong, it would be in an endless boot loop and you killed your system. Now it'll just be like, "What you talking about, Willis?" and just laugh at you and not do anything. Just want to see. Because it could be a permission thing. I'm going to laugh if it's a permission thing. So we already got that incompatibility thing, so it might not be. Because there has been times with npm where it would not install, and when I actually use sudo before npm, it actually worked. But apparently this doesn't work on this. Okay. So what we're going to do now is, let me just clear this out. Because I'm just resizing the our Kali over here, and we're going to switch over this. Again, I apologize. I mostly know what I'm doing half the time. It's just sometimes you can't predict these things sometimes. So I'm actually going to take off, so it's just going to be a black screen for a little bit, just because I want to see. Okay. Now we got that. And there's Kali. Now, Kali, I already have immediate root access to, so stuff here might flow a bit smoother. So we're going to try this again. Hang on a moment. Where am I? My notes. All right. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to go through the same process as before. We're going to do this like way more cautiously now. Oh, I forgot. I don't need that. apt update at apt upgrade, and then. So even though I did this before, I'm just going to do it again just to get it all out of the way. All right, awesome. So we're just gonna first I'm gonna just see what versions everything are. Sorry, I'm eventually gonna be eating food in about an hour, so my brain's kind of like, oh, food, like a caveman. So here we go. Okay, and okay. We should be okay with this, but I'm still gonna go through just to see what's gonna come up for Node.js. Because everything looks fine, but just being overly cautious. Okay, so that should work. So now we're gonna do this all over again. We're gonna see, because again, this might be a Minty thing. Who knows? Let's go and let's go. Let's do all this again. So I'm just gonna copy pasta commands from previous. So we're gonna git clone into a Minty directory, and then we're gonna immediately go into that directory. Because I feel a little lazy typing, so I'm just gonna copy everything from the other side. So now we're in Minty, and so now we're now going to install this and cross our fingers. Let's see if we have the same error again. All right, so we do have some warnings, but we don't have that same warning from last time. So I probably spoke too soon, but let's see what pops up. Hopefully, I did not crash the terminal on this. And I think one of the reasons why Kali usually works better is because since it's automatically defaulted to root, for some reason the sudo stuff with Ubuntu has a lot of overhead because it's essentially the Microsoft Windows of Linux. Fight me. So it has a lot of overhead with its stuff. So usually when I have more direct root access like I do with the Kali subsystem, it usually runs better. But we're going to find out with this. So it's now just running through all of its abstracts and stuff. And as a reminder of what we're supposed to be doing on this episode of Crypto Barons, where again we look at blockchain technologies such as this block on an actual chain provided by DCG co-founder G.I. Jack. We look at blockchain and cryptocurrency technologies as technologies. Good point. I did update this recently, but I forgot. And right now it's going through a command, and there's no tab functions on the subsystem. So I wish I could answer that question, but I'm kind of an idiot right now. But I could attempt to find out. Just give me 1 second here. I'm not even looking at the terminal right now. I have like different notes for different things, and sometimes I forget. Right, the V. For some reason, I'm thinking it's dash. Was it double dash version, which I guess could work, but yeah, dash V would also work. So right after it runs. Okay, so the good thing, let's see, is that there was some errors, but there was less errors than it was the last time. So I'm just going to follow what it says, and we're just going to audit fix. And in fact, we have an option to force fix and see what comes up, because I'm curious now. So actually, before you do that, I'm going to answer your question here. Yeah. By the way, it's a subsystem, so it basically installs with nothing on it. That's why I'm thinking it's a different command. But let me just do the npm stuff just to get out of the way. And thank you, Ja10something7. Thank you for following us on here. I'm gonna get a repeat in a moment of that, so that I could properly shout your name out. Thank you for following us on Twitch. I very much appreciate that, especially with the type of follows I need to get. Thank you, JAH1037, for following us on Twitch. Thank you so much. Because as I said before, once we get to over 1,000 followers on Twitch, ironically enough, we can then check. Oh, I see. That's what it was. Okay, we could check. Oh, and we got another follow. Thank you, Haas. What? God, you guys. This is like reading barcodes. But once we get 1,000 followers on Twitch, then we can check. We can upgrade our DLive account, and we can do a lot of really cool things, such as do the same type of raids we have on Twitch. I'll do something. Thank you, Haas00312_church. I hope your mom didn't name you for that, but it's a cool username. Thank you for following us on Twitch. Again, whether it's this episode or a future episode, maybe during the NFT thing next Wednesday, September 29th, starting at 3. And now we have another follow. Thank you for how many more? Oh, are these like your alt accounts or something? But I'm still going to thank for doing those follows. I have no idea how many because I'm going to check the page at the end of the episode. But we're going to be getting there. I'm more interested in people watching us during our actual meeting stream. Oh, okay, cool. Well, guys, if you're real people or not, bots, aliens, don't care. Thank you for following us on Twitch. But yeah, I'm more excited to get eyeballs for when we actually do our hybrid meetings. That's gonna be exciting. But yeah, there is gonna be a that here. But I'm trying to I'm just trying to slog through Terminal. And once we see if we can even run this thing, then I will check to see how many we need left because I also need to refill this water glass. So to double check what version we have, I'm going to try the lab command. Hopefully that'll get us an answer. Oh, come on. Oh, not lab. I'm dumb. The fucking... Why did I say lab? I'm dumb. So we do have a 2021 release. I don't know if the .3 is the current one, but I have been constantly updated and upgrading, so it is the modern one. So let me just check back at the terminal here. So let's see. So I don't think I typed in the fix yet. We're going to try this again because I got distracted by all the follows, which is a good thing to be distracted by. So now I'm going to see if this fixed anything. Okay, so it didn't. I'm going to force it now. Like, I used to try to think I was a more elite person and tried to be like, oh, I'm going to investigate all this. And then 5 hours later, I realized that when I ran a command, it actually told me the command that I could do next that ended up fixing the thing. So I've learned that when it doesn't tell me what's going on and what to do, then I go investigation. Otherwise, it's just read the goddamn instructions. So we're going to force these fixes. And we're going to see if this actually fixes anything. We're probably going to get a lot of red errors come up, because usually when I try to force fix, that happens. So let's see. It seems the problem has to do with Udi. Let's see. All right, so now all the vulnerabilities are done, so we should be able to do a proper install again, and we just got another follow. Haas apparently has a ton of alternate accounts. Yeah, no, we're all really well. That's the thing. I would never call myself elite, not by a long shot. But this is like if we don't end up running this thing, at least now you know how to like do like a proper thing of like trying to figure out stuff and debugging. There's just a base root level. Let me just go back in time here. So now that there's no vulnerabilities, it seems like everything got fixed. Let's try to install this again and cross your fingers. Because it seems to be there's a problem with the Ethereum part. Okay, that should have worked. All right. This is why sometimes Macaulay it actually works. So what I'm going to do here is let's go back to my notes. My notes here. There we go. Okay, so since I did do the joint command because I didn't know what was going to work, but now that we know it's installed, we're now going to link this onto our path. So we're going to use npm again, but we're going to do link and hopefully no more new errors come up. All right, so we linked that in. Now everything should work as the new instance popped up. So if we did everything correctly now, we have all of Minty set up. So now what we have to do, and this is where I'm going to go back to our browser, is now we are going to do, we need an actual image for the NFT. And as you can see here, I was checking up on like what commands, and then I'm like, oh yeah, that's why I was remembering something -a instead of a -v. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to take a random image. And that's a PNG. It's going to copy the name here, canvas.png. And just to make everything easier, I'm just going to put it in the pictures folder. So I just saved that image on there. And I look at my notes. And, which you're not going to see here, actually, I'm going to resave that image. Oh, this is interesting. Okay. So here's something kind of fascinating. I have to go look this up because I've never done this before. So I have made a hilarious fatal error. We're going to find out in a moment of why this won't work and why we might have to spin up a dedicated VM. So at least we now know it runs through Kali, so that's a good thing. If I ran Ubuntu on a dedicated VM, it should also just work. Because it's a full system instead of subsystem. Here's the problem. It's a subsystem. So what I just realized is that because it's a subsystem, if I remember correctly, I can't access the folders directly through the main operating system. So what I'm going to have to do, because I think there's a way to do this, but it's been forever since I've done something like this. So I'm actually going to do some Google Foo and search this up, and I'll explain to you in a moment once I see what the results are. And again, if you like what you see, as you saw before, you can follow us for free on Twitch, DLive, or YouTube. We're trying to up our Twitch followers so that we can do more with the DLive account. I know that sounds kind of weird, but it's true. And I love talking with chat like I've been doing. What thing? Ja, what things acting up? If it's one thing, first of all, if you have multiple things, congratulations. A lot of ladies must like you. If it's acting up, you might want to see both medical attention and Ripley's Believe It or Not. Right, first time. I don't know if you mean for me with the subsystem BS or his things acting up. I want more details. I'm not tech support, but I'm curious now. What's going on? Let me go look this up. So what I'm gonna see if I can do. Yeah, here we go. You have to use curl. Stack Overflow is your friend. So what I'm gonna have to do in the most hilarious way possible is we're going to curl the randomly generated image if I possibly can do it. Actually, here's going to be the new problem. So I just used a random generated image. My new problem is that I can't actually get a direct link for this because of the way it's randomly generated. So now I have a newer idea where if there is a URL path I could possibly curl from, I'm going to go over to Twitter and we're going to actually NFT. Now, we're not doing our logo. That would be cool, but we're not going to do that just because I have my own plans for potentially NFTing our logo just for shits and giggles and to make everyone groan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to our own Twitter, and I'm going to actually, we don't even need our Twitter. Hold on, I'm dumb. I actually turned on the browser for this. I also just realized I haven't turned on the thing here. So everything runs, but I think we did everything correctly, but we need to get an image. So the problem with this is that normally I'd right click and save, but since it's a subsystem, the applesauce doesn't cross with the P's in the way this whole subsystem Linux thing is set up. But what I can do, and we're not going to do our own logo, is I'm actually going to take the Jersey City Tech Meetup, and I'm going to copy the image location, and we're going to use that. And we're going to curl that into the subsystem. And actually, I'm going to do something a little bit more fancy here. Let's get rid of the browser. Bring up terminal. So I'm going to do a combination of two things now. So now that I know how to curl it, actually I could also get it. Let's see. I might just do the get of it. We're going to find out. So I can do one of those, but let me just refresh my memory on something. Because I think if I do it, I could do it in, actually, you know what I can do here? I said do way too many times. Let's list to see what's in here. All right, so I'm going to try something. We're going to get this image. And it's that might not work. Great. Let's do the delete over this. This is why I hate modern internet stuff, because I don't get a proper URL. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to now try to open it in its own, let's see. For some reason, I can't open it in its own tab, but let's view the image itself. Yeah, and I can't do that either. Huh. Because I need something where it ends with the URL. Let's try inspecting the element. I know you can't see all of this because honestly, this is really embarrassing right now. Yeah, the way they... I hate the way Eventbrite does crap like this. So let me just zoom back in on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually do my original idea. So we're going to go to Twitter. We're going to go to our Twitter. And I'm going to get the image URL from Twitter, because Twitter should actually, ironically enough, store this properly. That's because I'm not going to do our logo because I have my own ideas for the logo and I don't want like 2 weird NFT logos existing. But I can do this on here, or I should be able to. So copy image location. I'm going to open it into another thing to make sure I can. Oh, why is everything like this now? What the? Ah, I hate life. Hold on. I'm going to see if I can get it directly off their website now. See, I'm like highly morbidly curious right now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to their website itself. And I'm going to see if I can get the exact... See, now I can open a new tab. Oh, it's a link in the new tab. Let's see if I can open the image. Copy image location. This works. Ironically, their own website actually works. That's the funny part. All right, so we're going to try an experiment. I'm going to see if it actually shows up in the folder. I'm just going to double check to make sure it's in the correct folder. Okay, as long as it's in the Minty folder itself, this should work. So we're going to see how good my Linux foo is because I'm half stupid right now. This should put this in here. We're going to check. Okay. We're going to list. And JCTM. There it is. The name's really long, but I guess that also works for our advantage. And also, just to make sure, what I will do is I will just simply copy pasta the exact name of the file, so I don't have to think about it. No, I do have tree pollen allergies, but that should not be affecting everything right now. It's a combination of that. I don't know why, but every time I live stream, one of 2 things happen. Actually, one of 3 things. Either my mouth goes completely dry, my mouth over salivates, or my nostrils just get full of boogers. I'm like, G.I. Jack can tell you, I talk with him, I talk to Ciricel, I talk to Egg Commander, I'm completely normal sounding, and then as soon as it's like 3, 2, 1, live stream, and I have to be like, hi, DCG Tour, and I'm boogers in my nose, or dry, that happens. That's one of the reasons why I have this glass of liquid near me. I can't do anything with my nose besides obnoxiously blowing my nose on air or going on break and blowing my nose. So I might have to do that because I have to refill the liquid there. But just for future reference, I am now literally, and I'm actually going to open up just in case something extra stupid happens, my own text file folder, and I'm just putting the name of the file in there so I don't forget. Okay, so now we have an image in there. Should be more than a couple of megs. So this is the part, because it's like when you do anything with cryptocurrency stuff on a live stream, you have a ton of minefields. That's actually probably why you don't see people developing decentralized apps or dApps and doing test nets on Twitch and YouTube and stuff, because boy, even if you're on black fiber, does it knock your internet out. So we're going to see if that happens. Yeah, humidifier might work. The air conditioner that we have normally also kind of does that, but I also don't want buzzing stuff in the background. And in the future, I'm getting more allergy medications. But it's not allergies. It's just for some reason my nostrils and mouth go crazy when we're on the live stream. Because I have people meet me in person. They're like, wow, you sound so normal on there. I'm like, yeah, I don't know why this happens on the live stream. It just does. It's like camera turns on, nose flares up, or mouth over salivates. Who knows? But okay, so what we're going to do now is we are going to do the other risky thing. See, the other stuff I thought was going to only take a couple of minutes. It actually took like a lot. It took like half an hour or more. We're definitely probably going to end this all at 10 p.m., by the way. So that's what I'll do, the treasure chest. That's when we'll say goodbye. I'll remind people, share the URLs of the event next Sunday that I'll be live streaming from if you can't make it. But I urge you to come in person. You can hang out with me. It'll be great, provided that you are vaccinated and doing proper stuff. And so I'll see you next Wednesday for that. But this is the actual. So put it this way, before was the easy part. Now it's the hard part. And it was only hard because Ubuntu is Ubuntu, and Kali won again. But we had to do some hacks to get it to work. I don't really call them hacking, but people say that that's what I do. So yeah, I guess I got something to work. NPM is a sad hack in of itself. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to actually run the. Okay, so actually let me go back to the browser again. And what you're going to see here are me looking up stuff. But let's go back to the GitHub because it was easy. Yeah, that was the easy part. Now it's time for the hard part. So we're actually going to look through the files on here. And what we should be able to find on here, I don't know if I'll be able to exactly find it. Well, we have an NFT storage example and a Pinata example. Is that we should both have this is the smart contract that we're going to deploy later. That's programmed in Solidity here. As you can see, it's importing the .sol file, the token and utilities. It's saying that Minty, what type of, is it raining? Okay, ERC token and the constructors and all that. We're going to deploy the smart contract later, but in here we should have a miniaturized copy of a Ethereum network. No, I didn't say the Ethereum blockchain or network, but we should have a copy of an Ethereum-based blockchain in here. And I believe that might be this deploy.js in here. Let's look. We have the contract name, which links to the smart contract. Okay, so this is the actual deploying contract, while the other one was the actual contract itself. Let's see. Should be under hard hat. Let's find out here. I'm just going to double check something. Okay. So with hard hat, we should be able to essentially build our own local Ethereum blockchain. Now, because it's local, even though it has to have some communications with the internet, this should not kill the stream. So I just want to warn, thank you for watching this. If this stream dies, thank you for watching this episode of Crypto Barons. We're planning to stream on till 10 because this really shouldn't go beyond 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then we'll go distribute some lemons for those that watch anything live and raid another Twitch stream. But just in case everything goes AWOL, let me actually turn off Ubuntu now. Actually, let me clear it. Now you know that it might dip the stream. So this is gonna be the fun, not fun part for me. So we're gonna go back to the terminal. So we're taking the browser off. Go back to terminal. And what we're going to do now is we're going to actually run the shell code. Remember how I said it was mostly JavaScript? Then there was that bit of Solidity, which is the actual contract itself that we looked at, the .sol file. And then there's some shell script. This is the actual shell. So we're going to start our local Ethereum environment, and that should run both the Ethereum blockchain, the shell script, on our own end. So it's going to connect online to the Ethereum blockchain, and then should tunnel a local IPFS node. This is not public because we would need a cloud hosting in order to make it public. We're going to go into that in a moment. So we're going to run this here. So start-enrollment.sh. And I just want to double check to make sure I didn't mistype anything. If I typed it wrong, I'll just give up and do a copy pasta. Forgotten end. This is why you should always do that, even if you've done the command 8 million times. Is start local environment. Okay, so you have to leave now. Good night. You mean for if we die? So I'm assuming you're watching. We're not going anywhere. We're going to run this shell script, which should connect us to the Ethereum blockchain, and then tunnel out to IPFS. The IPFS part might kill the stream, but it didn't kill it when we did the IPFS episode in November, so we're about to find out. So hold on to your butts. So right now it's compiling the smart contract for that's that .sol. This might be the longest process, so that's downloading the compiler for it, completing the files. There is 2 vulnerabilities that just ignored. The compilation was successful. So we have there we go. So we have a period. Oh, this is funny. So I'm actually going to do a mirror on this because this is really funny. Okay. So you're gonna see it's a little bit behind the scenes here as I do this. Everyone's gonna laugh their ass off. I'm gonna do display capture. Here we go. Ah. So what you see here is Windows Defender came in because connecting to Ethereum through IPFS made it think it was a virus, and we actually got a firewall like, is this kosher? The app data package, Kali Linux, all of that URL go IPFS. It thought we were doing something. I'm going to allow access to it, but we're going to go back to the terminal just because I just thought that was hilarious. Here we go. No, I got the reference. I've watched Animaniacs. I'm so serious business right now. I didn't know, so I'm going to allow access to it. And we're going to scroll back up through the terminal and see what happened here. It's a lot. So what we did was we compiled the smart contract, the .sol file, and then we downloaded the compiler to compile the smart contract. And we were doing 16 different accounts here for our tiny Ethereum network. So there were 2 visibility constructors. We ignored that because we're doing it through terminal. We generated our own ED, our own Ethereum ED 25519 key pair. And so we have a identity for 1 key pair, and then we initialize IPFS. And let's see. We might have to deploy 2 different Kalis, by the way. Okay, so it ran IPFS, everything's running. We swarmed all of this on here, and then we announced on that swarm. The daemon is the daemon is ready. The web GUI URL, which is local here, I'm gonna copy pasta that. Let me just make sure I copied it correctly, because we might be able to bring that, because we are going to look at this NFT eventually. In fact, let me just double check on my local browser here, just see what popped up. Yep, that's the IPFS. Awesome. So I'm actually going to bring up the web browser again, just so you can see what I mean about it. So if you see up there, it says that the web GUI and that the daemon's ready and stuff. So if I did everything correctly, let's bring up the browser. Let's open up a new tab. So if you go there, and you should be able to do this at home too. I mean, you won't be able to because it's a local network with that. So we are connected to IPFS, despite normally I have an IPFS daemon, but I don't have this on this instance of Firefox because this is the streaming one. But we ran it completely in terminal because that's what the shellcode did. So we're actually connected. We're just doing 64 kilobytes outgoing. It's kind of spiked up a bit because I think we're looking at the different chains. But yeah, we're going to go IPFS entirely through terminal on the backend. We already connected to the Ethereum network, and we now deployed the smart contract for it. So everything should be working, and hopefully the stream has not died or dipped. So let's go back to terminal here. I hope we're all learning some stuff here, because I'm learning some stuff even though I know exactly what I'm doing here, except for that beginning bit, because NPM always drives me crazy. So back to the terminal here. So let's see. So we HTTP accounts in, and we've made multiple accounts. Now note, like we normally see with blockchain and programming, it doesn't start at 1, it starts at 0. So what we have here is we have 20 different accounts, 0 through 19. And so all of that is running now. So basically, what we have is again, we're connected to that. So now we're ready to deploy the smart contract. So that's one terminal running. So I actually have to do multiple Kalis. So this is going to be hilarious. So I'm going to run Kali again. Now I have another Kali. And then I'm going to go into OBS and switch over to that new Kali. the two collies. Or can I switch? There we go. So we're probably going to be switching back and forth between this. Let's see. Nobody in life knows exactly what they're doing. We're all going to make up stuff. I mean, that's true. What I'm saying is that I have an idea of where we are going. Not that I'm like I'm not lockpicking lawyer and have that. I mean, my fro's huge and it looks like it's exploding. But like this is all hair. This is not brains. I mean, I do have a big head that has brains in it, but this is optical illusion. I know where we're going. It's just we had a couple of bumps getting there, but you saw me fight through it, so I know how to computer. That's what that means. Anyhow, so with another Kali window, now that we have we've run the shellcode, the daemon for IPS is running. We just made the smart contract. Huey Freeman. Let's go back to my notes here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to properly deploy the contract. So we built the contract, and we connected Ethereum through IPFS. But now in order to create the NFT, we need to deploy the blueprint for creating the NFT. So we have to mint the smart contract itself. So I just opened up another Kali instance. And we're going to go into Minty. And we're going to now deploy it with Minty deploy. And this should work. Cross your fingers. Oh, there's a throw error. Huh. Just to make sure I didn't do anything stupid, let's just copy pasta this from my notes and try this again. Command not found. What is going on here? This should work. Or did it already auto deploy? No, because everything should be running Mint now. Let me look at the other terminal, because that should have happened. I hope it's not going to require that I need multiple tabs, because in that instance, we'd have to essentially start from scratch and then run it through a VM. But this should all work. Let's see. Let me just go up. Have all that in there. All right, I'm going to do the thing that I thought I was originally not going to do. We're going to try this. Let me... All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the development tools and see if that changes anything. Okay? That's what we're going to do. So let me CD out of this. Okay, so let's CD back into Minty. Let's try running that command again. It should be Minty deploy. The command is not found. Why is it not found? I really hope it's not requiring me to be like in an inner tab system, because that would suck major ass. I wonder if I can do that here. No, because it's just running as it is. Shouldn't really be much of an issue, because it also might, again, this might be a subsystem thing. Actually, here's a new thing. Wonder if I could do the same command outside of it, and that's what it needs. See, command not found. Let's see what's here. So we have everything in there. What am I missing? Let me go look back at my notes. I might have to take a small break, not only to look over coding stuff, but also so is because I also need to rehydrate as well. Let me just look. Install link, right? So I'm just trying to figure out what's going on here, because there should be there we go. All right, so there's a throw error. Cannot find module. Requires stack. There's a module missing. Module FS promises. All right, here's what we're going to do instead. We're going to get rid of the subsystems, and this should happen way faster now. I'm going to try this from scratch, but I'm going to try this again from a VM. So I have to remind myself of what VMs we have, and hopefully this will not take up too many resources. All right, this should be old as heck, but I'm actually going to try to run. This should work. We're going to try running Parrot. Parrot. So I actually have to go to the VM tab. I don't know why it's so small. Why are you so small? All right, let's try this. What we're going to do is live mode. Live mode. Hopefully that should make everything bigger. That's what she said. Trying to remember what I do to exit out of here. There we go. That's how that works. All right. So yeah, I don't know why it's not going into big mode right now, and it usually does. If not, I will try the other VM system that I have on here. Yeah, it's the only one that exists. Sadly, I think this is an older version of Parrot. So we're going to see how long it takes to load, and hopefully it doesn't do anything with the stream. Right now, the stream looks healthy, and the new Incent reward is going to pop up now. So we might be streaming until 10:30. In fact, while this is going on, I'm going to take a short break, and I'm going to go refill with some more water and ice cubes, and I'll be right back. So I'm going to put on some music, and I'll be right back, so stay tuned. Enjoy the music.
What's your name, pretty boy? What's your name, pretty boy?
Okay, so here's what is happening now. I have Parrot running now. It might be an old version of Parrot. So we're gonna find out because so basically what we're doing right now is we're starting from scratch from what we were doing before. And hopefully everything will go as smoothly as it was before when we did this. We're about to find out. So the first thing I'm going to do, and hopefully everything crosses over, is we're going to clone everything over and then go into the Minty folder. I have to literally type all of this. So git clone. Let me remember. Let's see. Actually, you know what might be better? I might actually have an easier time with this. No, actually, let me just type everything. So github.com. Okay. This is going to be a little bit slower, but this should be pretty neat. Hopefully I don't make any typing mistakes. Why, Yusef Napora. Yusef Napora. Okay. Slash Minty, and then colon CD Minty. Hopefully no errors happen. And hopefully the version of NDP up there, because my fear is when I go update this, it's just going to kill everything. So we're just going to find out. Now that we're in Minty, we're now going to install and link. So it's npm install and npm link. Because the sad thing is that outside of the Fedora instance I have, which are not ATPs, I don't have like just a normal operating system that I can just run. Funny enough, because welcome to hackers. So we're gonna npm. Oh, I don't have npm installed. That's interesting. Oh, all right. So this seems to be errors. Huh. I think I have to at least update, not upgrade, but update, because it got confused. All right, close, kill that. Just want to make sure. So I am connected. Try this again. So all the mirrors work. Most of the mirrors work, at least. Okay, so Node.js npm. So this might take a little bit, unfortunately, because we're running through a VM and it's a little slow. And hopefully everything works, because if not, then it's like, okay, I'll have to save this. Maybe what I'll do is, like I originally promised, when I do the live stream at the event, we'll go and redo this again. Because again, I have a feeling that what happened is that we were using a subsystem. And when you use Linux subsystems as opposed to full-on Linux in Windows, because OBS works the best in Windows, that's why it's the default operating system on here. What it does is it segregates a bunch of stuff. Okay, so I think I might have such an older version of Parrot that this is not slightly running, so I might actually have to do the Fedora. Hang on, let me just see here. So now we're installing Node.js just to be sure. Cross your fingers on this. Might take a little bit. Sorry if this seems really boring. I wasn't expecting to load a VM. VMs are always my last ditch thing, which is funny because as I reset again, next month we're going to be doing something super easy. It's going to be all in browser where we're going to do crypto zombies, but we're going to do more of the advanced programming techniques. And then later on in October, we're actually going to, I have, as you can probably see on the side, a sandbox fedora, tip my fedora hat, that we're going to be testing a blockchain platform out, because since it only references in onto itself, I actually have no idea if it's a scam or not. So we're going to find out. Unfortunately, this part's going to take a bit. I actually, depending on how this goes, I might have to, like, what do you call it? I might have to take my camera off and just play music while this updates, which I might do, and then I can do a bunch of house stuff. But I don't know. It seems like every second it's updating 1%. So let's cross our fingers, and probably jinxing it right now, but let's cross our fingers and let's hope that it's going to keep going like that. My question, which I have to look at, is I remember the last time I used this, I didn't have this window here. I had the actual display. So I'm going to have to, oh, there we go. I have to ask Cell and N command there, like, how do I just get the entire screen? Or I might have to futz around with that. That's going to be interesting. I'm already, like, mentally preparing myself for that. Oh, processing gets triggered. Processing triggers. So hopefully in the next couple of seconds, NPM will be loaded. And then I can double check, see what version it is. Maybe in the future. Because this I can do not only multiple windows in the same system, but I can do different tabs, I believe. Like, I can layer, let's see. Monitor, zoom in, zoom out, edit, file, open tab. Yep, so we can actually do multiple tabs in the same terminal. Might as well make this full screen, just so everyone can read it better, because I know it's like super fuzzy text right now. That 100% just needs a little bit of time, because again, it's a little extra slow because we are running this through a VM system. So I'm just waiting until I get controls back for it. We're going to see what version of Node.js it's running, and hopefully all will be good in the neighborhood finally. Come on, you're 100%. Why don't you give me control back? Come on. Can't be that slow. Oh, there we go. Yeah, application launchers. There we go. Because it's like an extra secure system. Air quote. All right, so. Okay, and then. Awesome. All right. So let's go back into Minty. Let's list everything. Okay, so. We're going to do this one at a time. So we're going to do the install first. And we're going to cross our fingers that everything works this time. Otherwise, we might have to. Oh, there's warnings. We might have to do the same patches that we did for Kali. And then I know, I'll put it this way, if this doesn't work, I'm going to just try to get a normal operating system on our VM. So that way I could just spin up like I think I have Ubuntu on here, but I haven't properly installed it. So, you know, I'm going to install a like normal, like default Ubuntu, default Debian, something like that in order to make everything work. That's what we're going to do here. So right now it's just going through, and again it's extra slow because we're running this through a VM instead of doing it. That's why I usually do the subsystems, because it provide everything. I didn't know I was going to have, I should have read it better. I didn't know we were going to need to have like two different things in the same operating system, because subsystems segregate folders and files. So like basically when you load up a one subsystem window, that's its system. If you load up another subsystem, that is a separate subsystem. So if we did everything right, everything should just run on here, because we're running everything through the same default modified Debian operating system, which is what Parrot is. Normally, when I'm live streaming on Parrot, Parrot is a lot of times my default secondary operating system, but Parrot is, if you know Kali, Parrot's very similar to Kali. It's basically kind of its rival. I just lean towards and prefer Parrot just personally with the tool sets and stuff that it has. So I usually use this VM or a live OS on a USB stick of Parrot in order to do like the CTFs and stuff like that, just because they have more tools. Or if I'm like on a different system I'm familiar and I have to do penetration testing remotely somewhere, I will either VM or live USB a Parrot instance. And this Parrot instance might be a little bit old and outdated, so that's why I'm crossing my fingers that everything works. 'Cause it might be like a version or a version and a half behind. And again, normally I would just do, yeah, we're gonna definitely do until 10:30, and then I'll hard cut it off. Because again, I would normally do like a sudo, I would sudo upgrade and stuff. But what just happened? Okay, I just got confused right there. All right, so the stream is still going accordingly. I have no idea what just happened. Hold on. I think we have a small odd boo-boo. Let's give it a bit. I am so lost right now. I think what happened is I might have double booted OBS because there was a bit of lag, so it may have thought I clicked OBS twice instead of once. So I'm just gonna cancel out of that and hopefully, yep, stream's still going. So hopefully everything's smooth now. I apologize for that. There was a little bit of lag and I went to like try to go back to OBS to check, but the lag made it think it was something else. So we're still installing this. And again, you notice how fast we went on the other subsystem? Well, this is through a VM, and hopefully we won't run out of memory for this. So let's cross our fingers on that. And then if this properly installs, we will link it. And then we're going to run the same shell command. Well, first we're going to have to pull that image, and we're going to run the same shell command. And in fact, because I'm really lazy, I'm probably just going to curl this image directly off the blog itself, if I can. No, I'm going to have to do the whole Twitter thing again, aren't I? Oh, no, the website. Their website has it. I just remembered this. I just remember that I'm slightly smarter than the average bear. Because I'm trying to remember what I did, because we spent a lot of time on those subsystems, and now the fact that I have to retrace my steps over again driving me slightly mad. And I'm having a bit of lag on this machine right now. I don't know if you can see or hear it at home, but there is I am experiencing lag on my end. So just hang tight, everybody. And I just realized this is going to be tricky because, okay, I know what to do now. I know what to do. We're going to have to open the browser in Parrot, and then I'm going to curl that image over again. We're going to do it through the browser because there's no way in hell I can type out that long ass URL. It's just, hang on. This is exactly, don't do VMs because I believe on the stream you're seeing, everything's fine, but there's such incredible lag when I use VMs. See, the future setup we're going to do, there's certain episodes that I've had to delay because essentially what I'm going to have to do is the idea is we're going to have one machine that streams and another machine that codes. And that machine runs VMs and stuff. So basically the VMs is separate from the streaming machine. And that way we don't cross streams, there's no crashes, and I can kind of do whatever the hell I want on there. That's going to be the future, but I have to wait to Sewer Cells right now, doing a lot of adulting out there right now. So I have to wait till he's done and he properly gets back, and then we can set up that computer. Once we do that, there's 2 iBots on a block to basically you play a game with predictions and you try to win it by coding your own iBot. And we're having some sort of lag with the stream. Yeah, it dipped slightly. And yeah, it dipped slightly for that. This is what I'm worried about with VMs. See, if we had another computer, I wouldn't have this issue here. because I didn't know we were going to have to go through this. Because I really just want to mint this and be done, but that's not going to happen anytime soon because I need an entire dedicated Linux. I just can't use a subsystem, unfortunately. I'm having so much lag on this end. This freaking sucks. I hope everything's more okay at home. See it on here. So it's not just you, that my system. This is not, we're not running this off of like some sad Lenovo desktop or whatever. This is like a dedicated monster CPU, monster GPU. It's just funny enough when you try to do any like cryptocurrency, like tech stuff, especially through a VM, the whole thing screws up. So that's the hell I'm going through right now. So hopefully the stream doesn't crash. Again, if it does crash, now we've run into this. So we'll start chugging itself. So if I'm moving at 2 frames a second, if I'm having like Ocarina of Time on Nintendo 64 levels of lag, or like Choo Choo Rocket Online levels of lag, or Cyberpunk going crazy, and the stream just dipped into red, that is literally, that's what's going on. So that's what I'm trying to figure out right now. I'm actually gonna go in right now and attempt to kill in this entire process because unfortunately I don't think anything's gonna work tonight, sadly. Because once you start running a VM and doing cryptocurrency stuff, this machine, despite being a high-end machine, chokes, which is why it would be good to have another machine that dedicatedly chokes, so that way the stream itself is not upset. So I'm going to try to go in and kill this process right here, because unfortunately that's not going to work. What I will do is I'll experiment this more on my own, and I will try to, here we go. Let's kill this. I'm going to try to set this up on my end, and then what we'll do is on Wednesday, I will show you the completed version of this. So after I do the interviews on Wednesday on our special, I will show you, hey, here's what I overcame with all the Minty stuff, and here's the rest of the Minty episode. So I apologize for anyone who was really, really excited to see me to do the minting stuff. I did not mean for all of this to happen. It just unfortunately happened. So I'm like trying to hard shut off this VM right now. Because that's this whole thing going through a VM is it's not, the stream's kind of getting affected, but all the lag and stuff you see is not from your stream, it's from my machine. And this is like a high-end gamer PC. It has a GeForce GX in it. This is a mostly modern machine, so this is why when you see cryptocurrency stuff, they're like super high-end graphics cards, super high-end multi-threaded CPUs and GPUs, because like that's how much resources this take up. And when you do it through a VM, it takes up even more resources than that. So I think what we're going to do is, as soon as this properly shuts down, I'm trying to figure out why is it not properly shutting down here. Okay, I've shut it down. Once this, yep, I'm turning everything off. Once this shuts down, I am going to end the episode. So yeah, again, I apologize. I set up everything. I thought we would only just need the subsystem, but apparently that did not happen. So what I'm going to do is, and here's my game plan. I'm going to sit down and properly, let's go back to face mode. As right now, by the way, I'm going to go to DLive, and I'm going to do our usual token giveaway. So I'm going to distribute lemons on DLive right now as I speak. And then we're going to go look up a stream while we listen to music to raid, and we're going to raid that channel. So again, thank you for watching tonight's episode of Crypto Barons. I'm sorry this kind of ended with a bus. I literally set everything up, so I thought we could do. And even with the obstacles we had with the subsystem in the beginning. I thought we would be able to make this 110% through. Unfortunately, that did not happen as our last incent reward comes up in about 30 seconds. Unfortunately, just because of the nature of that, it needs a full Linux system. It needs to be a VM. I'm going to install a competent lightweight VM on our system. I will completely set up Minty there. I will test it on there, and hopefully everything should be good. So right now I'm going to be distributing lemons. So I'm going to distribute an okay amount on here as our instant reward. It's going to be the last one for now. It pops up. And once we get this, come on, submit. Okay. So I put some lemons in there. And now, if you're on DLive, get your lemons because they're coming right now. It's going to come out in about 60 seconds. And so while that's going on, we're going to go over to Twitch and we're going to look for someone to raid. So again, thank you so much for watching this episode of Crypto Barons. Again, sorry I ended with a bust, but sometimes that happens on these episodes, especially since we're tempting the demo gods. Next week, and actually, let me go back to the chat screen for this. Next week, once again, if I can go over to it, let's turn back the browser. There's going to be an event on next Wednesday, that's September 29th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. in Jersey City. It will be located at the Endico, which ironically enough is located on 201 Montgomery Street, Jersey City, New Jersey. It's going to be an in-person roundtable panel about NFTs and how they're going to shape the future. And if you can't get the pay the Ether for the NFT ticket or pay the $40 to $55 to attend, starting at 7:30. So this is going to be after the roundtable. I'm going to bring people from that roundtable and other people who have attended to interview them for about 40 minutes, 50 minutes. And then we're going to like all the Minty stuff we were going to do. We got like halfway there, folks. I will do the other half during that episode just because of all the technical issues that I had with the VM. So that was the end of the lemon distribution. So I posted in chat the link where you can get the to attend in person, and now I'm going to post the meetup page where to remind yourself on meetup, and don't read that's UTC not EST, Eastern Standard Time, 7:30 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's when we will be streaming an special episode of Crypto Barons. We'll be interviewing the people there, and we'll do the rest of the Minty stuff. Okay? So I'm going to go back to the face cam again. Thank you for everyone who watched. Thank you for everyone who followed, especially on Twitch, because we're still trying to do the DLive thing, even though the DLive part is now taken care of. I can't wait to do finish all the Minty stuff. I thought this was going to be a simple episode. This is what happens with hackers. You think you're always worried about like really complex stuff and all that goes smoothly. And then like the simple thing of like, oh, we're just going to click this icon when it loads, or oh, I'm just going to run this one shell command and nothing works. That's the hard part. It's always the thing you think is going to be simple. That's the hard part. That's a hacker thing to remember. Okay. So thank you for watching Crypto Barons, where we take a look at blockchain actual technology. I'm going to take the L for this, although we tried really hard. I tried my best hacker skills for this, and just catch up on me next Wednesday at 7:30 online or 6:30 in person in Jersey City. And we will stream a special episode where we'll interview about NFTs and we'll finish up all the Minty stuff then. Stay tuned because for all the people watching on Twitch, we're going to go raid another channel. I hope you say hi to them. As you listen to the music, we're going to raid that channel. If you like all the content that you see, once again, you can go to our website, which is defcon201.org, which we have right here at the bottom of the screen here, but I also posted the link in chat. And you could go follow us on social media, such as DEFCON201 NJ on Twitter, DEFCON201 on Instagram, DEFCON201 on GitHub, on hostsucks.social, on the .onions. There's some of our links to the social stuff on our website, but we also have a master list on a link tree that we just shared right now. Again, thank you for the follows. I will see everyone again next Wednesday on live stream, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, our special episode. We're going to be promoting the heck out of that. And I will, let's see, when's the next? So the next episode that I'm going to be doing, which is Master of Unlocking, will happen October 3rd. I don't have a topic for that, but I'm going to announce that next Friday. And the next two episodes of Crypto Barons is October 9th, we're going to go back to Crypto Zombies and learn more Solidity, contracting, and other advanced programming techniques for decentralized apps. And then on the 23rd of October, we are going to check out a very suspicious looking blockchain platform that, like, I have no reference to what this is from, so it legit could be ransomware. So we're going to look at a blockchain platform through a proper VM, right? And so basically you'll be able to now know what I'm trying to look here. You will know of like how to check unscrupulous stuff in Linux. Unscrupulous programs by using a VM and other hardened VM. So I'm going to show you how I hardened my Fedora VM, and then we're going to load it, and we're going to see what this platform is, and which is what I'm thinking is that if it's not ransomware, it might be a scam. It sounds iffy. We'll get to that when we get to that. So next episodes of Crypto Barons, we have a special next week on the 29th, Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. And then at 8:30 p.m. on October 9th and October 23rd. If you want to catch me again, you can catch me on Master of Unlocking, where I teach lockpicking and locksport on October 3rd. And our meeting is going to be on October 15th. In person and on live stream as a hybrid. So again, thank you for watching on Crypto Barons. Say hi to the person if you're on Twitch rating us. Again, thank you for following us. If you want to get more of the Minty stuff and have NFTs and more stuff on NFTs when we interview people, check out next week on Wednesday. Hack the Planet, Dirty Jersey represent, and remember that subsystems are subsystems. They partition things off. When you read instructions, if it says it's going to open up another terminal window that you need, you can't do a subsystem. You have to do a VM. Think, Sidepocket. Think. See everyone. Enjoy the music.
Thank you.